I see that nowadays it's necessary not only to check the box, up to follow the check the box approach to be compliant. This is not enough.
How do you see the impact of AI into our field, specifically in vendor risk management?
Hopefully in future working with AI agents doing my job, and I need just to guide them where to go.
Hi, Monika, and welcome to this podcast. So we are trying to interview as much as possible, as many as possible professionals in our field to try to get the best insights. And I think one thing which is always interesting is to understand how do we get to work into the vendor risk management field. How do we get there? So I'm a bit curious to know in your career, how have you started it? What did you study first? What way when you studied, what were your ambition, and eventually in your career, how you moved into that field?
Alexis, thank you very much for inviting me here. I appreciate it. I started my career at the Big Four company, where I've had the possibility to learn a lot very fast. I've been living in Germany for 17 years, where I also studied. I have a legal background. I studied German and European business law. Nothing dedicated to security or vendor risk management, but very important as that was the starting point and opened doors for me to learn negotiating. I've done a lot of negotiations during the last 20 years, both on customer side and on supplier side. So I have also, or I had the possibility to learn on the different sides. I've been working in the very beginning of the electric mobility era in Germany for BMW and Daimler as well, where I had the possibility to build up the contract management, selling digital charging solutions for electric cars in the very beginning. And more and more in the last 10 years, I jumped into the IT topics, technology, but also information security, data privacy, and it was very interesting. I've obviously also learned on the job a lot. Here in Switzerland since 5 years and working in the area of cyber third-party risk management. I actually had the possibility here to learn how security by design works, which is a unique opportunity. I think a lot of us read about it, but don't have the possibility to practice. I had, so that's where I am, and I'm very passionate about cybersecurity because it's about collaboration, and that's what I like to do. I stay still on contractual negotiations.
That's very interesting. So your background, you start first in legal, as I understand, contract negotiation, and that's probably something we'll come back to it because I think it's a very important point when we talk about the vendor risk in general and how we negotiate things, right? Like right to audits, all the things. What's interesting is why did you come, because you work, as I understand, you first work with procurement somehow, right? Your first experience in it's not often that we see people shifting, from that field and going into the IT and security. So what was the trigger in your career to go up to cybersecurity?
The passion for future technologies. I think that technology doesn't work without security. I realized this very early, I think. So this was the biggest trigger. I'm also passionate about AI, robotics, etc. So we see this is an ever evolving field, but on the other side, very interesting because full of risks and things we don't know today, probably tomorrow.
That's very interesting. It's not often we see these people, often people with legal background can be like not so comfortable, with technology somehow, and they like to stay focused in the laws where things are somehow, there is almost a trace path on things and how we do things, while in technology it's always evolving, always changing. So that was exciting thing for you, right? To
Yeah. And one thing to add here, I think I'm the best example of what we are looking for in security and in cyber. We need diversity and heterogeneous backgrounds to get better, to have better quality, to prepare and to defend better against the bad guys. So I think, I realized during on the job or during the last 5-6 years that you don't need to be the standard to go the standard career path, computer science, etc., or IT, to be a part of the cybersecurity community.
I completely agree with you. And it's true that in our team here, we have people with very different background, from legal background as well, that are very interested in cybersecurity, mostly in the governance part, but they also get more interested into the technical aspects. And when we talk about AI, because I know that's one of the things you like a lot, indeed, we know in terms of risk and ethics, in order to try to limit the risk, of bias and other things, we need people with different backgrounds, educational background, cultures, origins, to make sure we mix as much as possible things. So, yeah, I agree with you. It's something we certainly need more in cybersecurity than guys like me, which are more your typical IT nerd and cybersecurity nerds for sure. So now that you have a good step in third party risk management. You've been there for years. How do you see things evolving in terms of challenges these days for organization? If you had to give me give us the 2-3 biggest challenges that you see companies are facing, what will they be?
Yes, the very dynamic threat landscape. I would start with this one. That is a huge challenge for a lot of companies. I see that nowadays it's necessary not only to check the box, up to follow the check the box approach to be compliant. This is not enough, and to follow regulatory requirements, etc. Companies need to invest massive into tabletops, red teaming, blue teaming exercises, where they have real life scenarios and learn to react very fast. It's not only to have the BCP on a paper or disaster recovery plan, but to know everyone should know how to execute, how to react in case of a crisis.
So
This
here we
is
talk business continuity, right? And so today you embed that in the third party risk management, in saying, well, it's not only about checking my vendors quality, but also, we have to try and test to see how things will work if there is an incident.
definitely. It is a collaborative approach, and we should follow it holistically if we want to be successful, actually. This is my personal opinion. I also think that this is a good bridge to the next topic. Stakeholder management is a big issue. Companies underestimate it because the departments are there, the organization is there. Why not to work together and to have processes in place? In reality, this doesn't work in the most of the organizations when it comes to security, and it's a huge homework to do in order to bring them together. I mean, the stakeholders internally, because every group of stakeholders has different targets, different goals, and they go at the end to the one and the same thing: risks and resilience and maturity around third parties. We have the cyber security, the IT, information security, data privacy, BCM, purchase, legal, compliance,
It's a
lots
lot of
of
people, huh?
stakeholders. Yes,
Yeah.
but the target of the security department is to look into the cyber-related and security-related risks, which are not 100% the same goals of the BCM department, for example.
Okay, we see that as a challenge. So I will put it this way, just to rephrase the way what you were saying, and tell me if I understood it right. We have many different stakeholders. There are definitely silos. We're trying, of course, always to bridge, and one of the biggest challenges that we have is the lack of cohesion in having a common approach, right, in organizations, and that's known in sadly many other topics. So what is the risk, practical risk that you see of not having a common approach, to vendor risk management?
I think that, first of all, we are less effective. Um, we don't have any visibility, and at the end, we are not mature. And we are more vulnerable as an organization in case we don't have it in place. So it is crucial, and it is a business related topic. Nevertheless, we talk about cybersecurity and cyber third party risk management. It is about business because without this, business wouldn't work. I personally believe also that cybersecurity is huge competitive advantage for companies who can raise the maturity level, who have a good, solid security strategy in place, aligned with the business needs.
That's interesting as well. So I remember at university, a professor asking us, to work on the ROSI, return on security investment, saying you're going to invest a lot in security controls, find a way to sell it to the business and demonstrate that there will be added value. So, um, and while it's something we always try, of course, right, to demonstrate when we build our business case, in whatever we do in cybersecurity, to try to bring, this could generate, revenue or better image. Um, it sometimes it takes a lot of convincing, right, of the business to get
Yes.
involved into working with us in that. Now, you said something earlier quite interesting regarding ticking the box, because it's true that most of the time the business will look at it. I mean, from my experience, but tell me if you share the same, that, yes, we have to comply with, I don't know, NIS2, DORA, or whatever, ISO 27001. Let's just get it green, let's just tick the box for it. You take care of this exercise, you in that department, and that will be it. No, you said earlier, ticking the box is not enough anymore, and but still, this is still what people want, because in the end, whatever is a company, if we take one company, I don't know, making, let's say, shoes, their job is to make shoes, is not to be compliant with the one regulation and another regulation. Therefore, the business sees it just as a costly exercise that they have to do for the sake of doing it. In your opinion, what can make the shift between this tick the box mentality and we're going to, well, let's get things done properly?
Well, there is a huge difference between organizations who just exercise a checklist approach and organizations who um, are more proactive in this area. They invest more. They adapt these risk management processes to the new threats coming from out there. And I think your example is very good, but at the point where the shoe company gets my data, my personal data, I'm curious about it. What happens with it? Is it stored? Is it on a paper in the box somewhere? So then, when they collaborate with customers, they need also to fulfill requirements, right? So probably the volume of investment will be much less than an international bigger company, of course, but nevertheless, they need to think about it.
Yeah.
Um, a balance, yeah, I think compliance is very important, and as much more critical the companies are, banking, insurance, critical infrastructure, there are more obligations to fulfill because they are heavily regulated. but this is nowadays not enough if you want to be more mature and more competitive. I think that companies need also to start to think about automation and tracking life in time, be more predictive than or proactive than reactive. So this is more advantages in this case than just compliance checklist.
That's quite interesting. So, of course, we're always a bit lagging, right, into trying to see where we are. I'm referring to the typical process in procurement processes or vendor risk management, trying to catch up, on that. What you're saying here is quite interesting. Say we really have to start being proactive. And understand better what could be, I guess, the impact it could have on our business processes, on our shoemaking process, for example, if anything fails, or like you say, if of course they have client customer data in there, what could be the impact on that? And of course, that's what business continuity and risk management in general is all about. I might just like to come back because I know you're passionate about AI. I just would like to come back about how do you see the impact of AI or in general technology into our field, specifically in vendor risk management? How do you see that? Do you see it like as a game changer? Is it going really something's going to help us evolve to be more proactive, like you said?
Yes, without this, I wouldn't work in this field. So it is a huge, huge impact. Um, I had experience with Excel lists and Word templates for on guidances, etc. And I have experience with highly end-to-end automated processes. Um, Also working with AI. Hopefully, in future, working with AI agents, doing my job, and I need just to guide them where to go. This is what I see in future coming into this area. Um, and I definitely can confirm that the second option is much better because we are intelligent, we are reactive, we are fast, we are live in time. And this is a key in supply chain security to stay live in time and to work with data live.
So where do you think, in your vision, and let's talk the future, and see where will you see the AI, ideally the future be, in that whole process, taking in mind that we have many stakeholders, like you say, like who try to make bridges between silos. Do you think AI can help there?
Definitely. I think that AI is going to um, revolutionize the way how we do awareness. This is the first point. I have a good example. Nowadays, we stand up from the very simple example. We stand up from our desk, and we sometimes, or people forget to log in. So the very, very simple example, I am pretty sure that in future there will be an agent remembering you, hey, you may not stand up before you do this, or shall I do this for you? So I think that awareness will be made different way. I think that um, the collaboration between the different departments will be much easier through AI because the processes will get much more automated and, let's say, more intelligent. I think that also um, a lot of tasks we perform today, example, we need to read reports, ISA, SOC reports, um, for example, which are some penetration test reports, which are very, very large and heavy sometimes. And um, I think that in future, AI will do this for us and just guide us where to focus on. Today, we also perform regularly security assessments. This is, of course, needed. Um, and I think that AI is revolutionizing this area as well, learning and helping security professionals also probably at penetration testing. to be faster and to concentrate more deeper, to go deep dive into the exam or assessment audit that they are doing. The next thing, of course, part of the legal negotiations and contracting. This is a huge area, I think, that could be supported. And yeah, it is a lot of work in front us, I see, but it is also yeah, mm, interesting because we see things happen which we didn't even imagine that it could happen at work, right?
So it's quite interesting because you have quite a long experience working on the negotiation part and all that. Have you seen a shift in suppliers and how they react? When we ask
Yes.
them, provide me evidence of this and that, etc.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
easier. It gets easier. Yeah.
It's more professional at all. 5 to 7 years ago, if you so like 10-20% of the supply chain bringing certificates or reports on security, today we see 80% are bringing, and the rest 20 don't bring because they are too small or didn't think about this, didn't have the possibility to invest. So this is a big shift. That means they have somewhere in their strategy security implemented as a target or strategic topic because they invest in SOC reports, ISA reports, etc. I see also shift in the way how companies think about when they get security attachment with a lot of clauses and topics around which they didn't have until now, or it was not necessary 10 years ago. They are open to negotiate and to discuss. I also think that the policy landscape on European level, things coming also from the US, NIST, etc., are also very helpful in this regard. We had the orders in the last years from US on cybersecurity, and those things raise the bar because companies start to think about it, to read, and they see also, yes, there are penalties on some of them, but I think this is not the mechanism why they focus on security nowadays, and why they are open also um, to write and to negotiate to close better contracts in this regard.
Absolutely. So tell me, let's imagine, we have a dream. What will be what is the one thing you would like to change, in the future in terms of risk management and approach in companies? If we have to dream about something, really something we wish, what will it be for you?
It is super simple. I see this every day on a day by day work. To not to forget, because we are in an ocean, and we try to boil it every day, but this is not possible in cybersecurity. To not to forget that there is the standard cyber hygiene. Very simple things. Patching, for example, encrypt data, have policies in place, align with business. Think about fourth and fifth and sixth parties, not only about third parties, because they are also part of the ecosystem and very important. Um, this stuff, I think a lot of companies forget to focus on it. It is very simple. There are a lot of awareness campaigns and templates outside, even publicly available. So this is my advice, I think. Yes, because
Okay, no, that's great.
AI and
So you
all the
say
stuff
cover the
it has.
basics, right? That's
Yeah.
what you're saying. Start by
Yeah.
covering the basics.
Yes.
Make sure it's there, it's done. Yeah. And we have a lot, and actually, it's quite interesting because you talk about the fourth, fifth, and sixth party, and wow, that can seem very daunting, for many companies trying already to catch up, on their third parties. But for sure, we've seen, and we have many sad examples of incidents because of fourth or fifth party happening on that. So, but you will tell them, like you say, we have an ocean to boil. try to cut things, cover at least the basics to make sure that you maintain the security hygiene and that your suppliers are there. Um, and you wish as well to see in terms of development in the future of whatever technology. Okay, we know we talk of AI. We would like to see this happen, make it better. But if you have to design the dream, dream solution in your vision, what will it be? What will it integrate?
It wouldn't replace me. It will match and complement with me perfectly.
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah. So the tool really designed just for your hand, like
Customizable. Yes, fully
customizable
customizable.
for you to make sure it covers you. Well, thanks a lot for your time. I think it was really really interesting, and uh, I would like to say, for us, we always look at every time we see a supplier, there is a risk story which is waiting to be written somewhere on that, and we just want to make sure that we are the one writing it and we are the one seeing it and see what's going to happen. So, um, thanks a lot for your time, Monica. It was really really interesting conversation, and looking forward to see you again to one of the next events.
Thank you very much, Alexis. Thank
Thank
you.
you.